society. Listen, this, if you get into listening to the Father Maudsley conversation with Catherine today, it is about the liturgy, and it's about how that narrative is used against the church. And the church is told the reason this event happened is because of your liturgies. It's because of your Good Friday liturgy and St. John's Passion. You need to change it. And they pressured them. And then the Second Vatican Council comes, and you get Nostra, Aetate, and you get Dignitatis, Humanae, and you get all these changes, and it's from these outside pressure groups, from this myth narrative thing. It's what happens to the church. Like, this is the importance of this story. It's not like all of what I'm seeing is not about a dislike of a people. It's not about a hatred of none of it. It's all theological to me. Like, all of this is theological to me. I'm looking at this from a theological perspective, and I'm saying, wow, what is happening here? Like, this is wild. They're putting pressure on the church, and the church acquiesces to this. And it seems like what's happening right now is not traditional versus Novus Ordo. It doesn't seem like traditional versus Novus Ordo. Like, what I'm seeing seems like Catholic Zionism versus those who are seeing it's, look, this is important. Like, this is a very difficult topic to discuss, because there's one group of people that are seeing something happening in the culture. When you see the Groypers and the Fuenteses and all that stuff, there is a danger in what those guys are doing. Like, in the past, things like that have aroused pogroms. You start talking about these things, and it riles people up, and then the next thing you know, there's a pogrom, and people get hurt.
Yeah.
So I understand them going, oh man, look at the signs are here. The warnings are all here. We need to do something about this and stop it in its tracks.
It's why the church, when it has in the past promulgated documents on this group of people, it's been on one hand been to condemn their actions and ideas, but on the other hand has always been to also protect them. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the papal states were a
sanctuary. A
sanctuary
city where they were allowed to exist. They couldn't have any positions of power. They couldn't influence the culture. You were not allowed to have usury, things like that. But they were protected. They were safe.
Yeah.
Sometimes that involved them paying a tribute to the Pope. You know, there might have been some corruption involved there.
No, I mean, you gotta pay for that protection, right?
I'm just saying, like that. But that is the point, right? So I do understand where the guys like Trent are coming from in one aspect. They're seeing a lot of the noticing going on, and they're like, whoa, we got to be careful here. We don't want to see the things that have happened in the past happen again. But on the other hand, are you actually unaware of the dangers of the thing that's actually like, it's like, do we call out our own and protect and make sure our own don't get out of control? Or by doing that, are we turning a blind eye to the actual thing that's going to happen? That's my worry right now. And I don't look, it's just an intuition I have. I don't know. I just kind of see this thing happening, and it's all people I always liked. And it's all people I grew up learning the Catholic faith from. And I'm seeing this split happening, and it's like this one group over here, and they all seem to be saying the same thing. And then I'm starting to see like what the reason I think what Catherine did was so incredibly courageous. Like, I really think what she did was so incredibly courageous, because they are pretty mainstream Catholic Unscripted. Like, I mean, you have Gavin on that show. He was a former chaplain to the Queen. You had they're writing for the Catholic Herald.
Yeah.
For her to come out and have that conversation, like, there's going to be consequences for that. And she said, to consequences be damned. This is a conscience issue. This is not about rousing up hatred for anybody. It's a matter of theology and recognizing where we are in the story. Now, look, it does have to do with Novus Ordo versus TLM, because the Novus Ordo is very much influenced by this thing we're talking about.
It's the church's capitulation.
It is the church's capitulation to the older brother. Like, this is the story of Cain and Abel, guys. The older brother offers a sacrifice, God rejects it, and it goes to, and the younger brother is praised. That is the Jews, the old covenant. The new covenant goes to the Gentiles. The
what
older
does
brother,
the Novus Ordo do? Take an offertory prayer from that rejected sacrifice and insert it into.
But even in the bigger context of the story, what does Cain do to the younger brother when that sacrifice is accepted? Like, you have to understand this enmity is biblical.
Yeah.
And the thing that frustrates me is that we entered Passion Tide. And Catholic Answers is writing a defense of the older brother, and it's like I don't
Passion
know
Tide, where we veil our statues and crucifixes in remembrance of Jesus having to hide himself from the Jews.
It's like I'm very confused about this, because it's a really important topic. This is not light stuff that we're talking about. It's and what I'm seeing happening with this push to go to war with Iran right now on behalf of them. It's like, this is serious stuff we're talking about. We're not,